to the Great Drink Show. It's Shirley and Becca. Yes, we love y'all.
Start your day the joyful way. It's your weekday morning talk show inviting you to start your day with a triple shot of good vibes. And now here's your host, the queen of joy herself, Jessica Dugas.
What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday to you. It is Thursday, September 22nd, 2022. 22 is a lot of 22s going on today. And happy fall, y'all. It actually is not officially the autumnal equinox until 9:03 p.m. Eastern time tonight. But we can say it because I'm not on with you at that time of night. I'm sleeping. So we can go ahead and say happy fall, y'all, right now. Let me know if you guys have any plans for Maybon today or this fall equinox. And happy Maybon to my fellow witchy sisters. So it's beautiful weather here in Mystic, Connecticut, as far as temperature is concerned, where I am enjoying the fall weather. There are other people not so much that are like, listen, it's not getting next week. It is not getting in even into the 70s. It's going to be in the 60s. And I'm like here for it because you don't understand the kind of PTSD that I have from being in the hot weather. All the last 13 years. It is too much going on. I'm very thankful for the weather. It's rainy though, going on, but we needed it. It was nice to see the water filling back up in some of the ponds that were completely dry around this area. And so it's been nice to see like Mother Nature doing her thing out there, getting it together. So listen, we're going to be talking about fall and autumn and the symbolism of that and what it means in your life and all of that coming up. Of course, how it relates to joy. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And we also have some national days to talk about coming up here in just a minute. If you are joining us live or on the replay, I would love for you to say hi. Let us know where you're joining from and let me know what is bringing you joy today. If there's anything you're doing to celebrate the autumnal equinox today. Yeah, let me know. I don't know if I'll do anything tonight. I know probably later on today I'm going to be doing some reading somewhere, maybe on TikTok or something like that. It's been a while since I've done readings for everybody, so I think I'll do that somewhere. Yeah, I'll break out my own deck of cards and see what we can do with that. We'll have some fun. But I will just, if you're following me in different places, just be on the lookout for that. I plan on doing that later today, maybe. What else is going on? So I want to talk to you about there's a lot of national days today. So I am going to touch on the ones that I choose because it's my show. It is National States and Capital Day. I'm curious how many of you know the capitals to each and every state. I know that I don't. I know many, but not 100% of them. I'm not even sure that I knew all the capitals when I was in school. I knew all the states, and I can sing it to you in alphabetical order. Literally sing it to you in alphabetical order. And so I know all the states and in alphabet, but not necessarily the capitals. I don't know all of those. So let me know if you are that smart because I don't know all of those. It is also American Business Women's Day. So happy American Business Women's Day to all the business women in America. I appreciate you. It is also Hobbit Day. It's Hobbit Day. I love that. And it's Explore the Shire on September 22nd during Hobbit Day. While there, celebrate the birthdays of Bilbo and Frodo Baggins. The novels The Hobbit and the trilogy, the Lord of the Rings trilogy written by J.R.R. Tolkien, bring to life the world of Middle-earth. According to the stories, Bilbo and Frodo were born during the Third Age in years 2890 and 2968, respectively. Translated to Shire reckoning, Bilbo was born in 1290 and Frodo in 1368. And so I find it's interesting that this is today because I literally just finished rewatching the trilogy of the Lord of the Rings yesterday, because I think I shared with you on the show I started watching the new series on Amazon Prime, which is so good. The Lord of the Rings, it's the prequel to the movies, The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings and all of that. And it's excellent. I love it so much. And I don't know, there it's funny how with movies how you're drawn to things at different times in your life. And I feel like so many of the underlying messages of the Lord of the Rings series, the Hobbit series, just hits me in right in my heart right now. There's just so many little lessons that like I missed the first time watching it, or maybe I just wasn't ready to like process it. But I just love that. And I love that about me. Like, can I just say that? Because I've talked about that before. There's a lot of people in the spiritual community that will kind of poo-poo, movies and pop culture and things like that. But I truly believe that we can find breakthrough moments and joy and lessons in many of these pop culture phenomenon, or things that are going on, if we choose to see it and find it and dig for it a little bit. Now, it doesn't mean that like you're watching a movie and you have to dig in and be like, not even like enjoy the movie, but like, where's the lesson here? That's not what I'm talking about at all. But there's like little phrases and stuff that I pull out that I'm like, man, that just hits me right in the feels today. And so the new Lord of the Rings series on Amazon, the very beginning there is a scene with young elves, and the main character has a conversation with her brother, and her brother goes on to describe like this analogy between like the boat and the rock and the water, and it's just like just this whole profound moment. I'm like, man, like I needed to hear that today. So I love how that happens, and it just kind of hits you out of nowhere. So let me know if you enjoy the Hobbits, the Lord of the Rings. It's Hobbit Day, regardless. So it is National Ice Cream Cone Day. I love an ice cream cone. I love waffle cones. Waffle cone is my favorite kind of cone, followed by cake cone and then sugar cone. Um, I don't know, like sugar cones are sometimes okay, but like the waffle cone is number one for me, followed by the cake cone, then the sugar cone. But the cake cone has to be done right. If it tastes like a piece of like cardboard, I'm out. So let me know if you like an ice cream cone and what flavor you enjoy on the ice cream cone. It is also National White Chocolate Day. I realize I may have hurt somebody's feelings just by saying that. White chocolate is one of those things I didn't realize how controversial white chocolate is. Do you guys know how controversial white chocolate is? People either love white chocolate or they absolutely hate white chocolate. Truthfully, white chocolate is not even chocolate, right? Like it's sugar. It's sugar and milk. It's what it is. It has been really challenging for me as a vegan to find vegan white chocolate, because typically, like I said, it is milk based, but I found some delicious coconut white chocolate recently that's made with coconut milk that is so good, so good. Also, I think it's Good Life, is that the name of it? Good something. I'm having a complete brain lapse right now. Good something. And Nestle, allergen free, both have white chocolate chips, FYI, in case you're looking for those that are dairy free and vegan friendly and all of that. So keep an eye out for those things. And as I mentioned, it is also the autumnal equinox, but we're going to talk about more about that in the middle segment of the show today. So in the international days, it is also World Narcolepsy Day. So for those of you that deal with narcolepsy in your life, sending you lots of love today. It is also, this is a beautiful title for an International Day of Radiant Peace. The goal of observing this day is to increase awareness about radiant peace and promote radiant peace projects around the world. Radiant peace is described as the natural, whole, harmless, and benevolent energy within our hearts. I love that. Isn't that beautiful? Everyone is believed to have radiant peace. The goal of the Radiant Peace Foundation International is to inspire and encourage radiant peace throughout the world. The educational nonprofit organization also strives to support understanding of radiant peace through education and research, promote international cooperation of radiant peace, celebrate the International Day of Radiant Peace and the International Festival of Radiant Peace each year. And the International Festival of Radiant Peace is celebrated in the spring of each year. So the festival is in the spring, but the day apparently is in the fall. So there is a museum located in St. Petersburg, Florida. I have never had there, but that's where the International Day of Radiant Peace has its roots. So really interesting. There are many churches and universities around the world that ring bells in honor of this day today as well. So that's really cool. I had never heard of that one before. I'd heard about the Day for Peace yesterday and the Gratitude Day and all of that, but I had never heard of the Day of a Radiant Peace. So I love that as well. So that's what's going on around the world today. Let's check in with who is joining us this morning. Juju's here. Good morning. Grand day to you. Jackal's here. I hate the fall. I'm sorry you hate the fall weather. I love the fall weather. Joining from Turkey this morning. I love it. Happy Thursday to you there. Though it's later in the day, it's not early morning here like it is for us here. And eating curry to celebrate that. I love it. I love curry so much. Though our curry here, as we know from the Breakthroughs Around the World series that we've been doing every Friday, it varies a lot. From country to country around the world. Curry is so different everywhere. But yes, and interesting that you're joining from Turkey as well. I have to find somebody for my series from Turkey. I have somebody from Hungary on this Friday, but I haven't had anyone on from Turkey yet. So good morning, Carla. Good to see you from Boston, Massachusetts. Not far, just a little hop, skip, and a jump north of me here in Mystic, Connecticut. And Brittany is here this morning. Happy Thursday to you. I hope you have an amazing day. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, you guys, and we are going to be back really soon. And we're going to be talking about the autumnal equinox and what that means, and happy fall and all of that fun stuff. And we'll be right back after this.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
Welcome back to Project Joy Live. I'm your host, Jessica Dugan. Today is Thursday, September 22nd, 2022. Like I said, the weather is like fitting right in with the fall. I think for the next week we don't get over 70 at all here in Mystic, Connecticut. It's beautiful right now. It's a little nippy in the evening. You got to get a little windbreaker going on, and it's so funny because when I was growing up, um, I remember like I would go to Ocean Beach all the time with my grandparents throughout later in the summer, and we'd be going to music all of the time there. And I remember bringing like a windbreaker, a light jacket in the evening for when it was over, but I never really remembered like it being really cold. But um but now I know why, because this time of year it gets a little chilly. So listen, the autumnal equinox is today. It's a day we can officially say happy fall, y'all. It's actually not official until 9:03 p.m. tonight. So during the autumnal equinox, the sun shines directly on the equator, and the northern and southern hemispheres get the same amount of rays. There, hopefully, you get it. It's supposed to be like equal 12 hours of day, 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of nighttime, but it doesn't actually equal. It's like 12 hours 10 minutes and 11 hours 50 minutes kind of deal, but it's close. um so I want to tell you about what equinox means. I was reading this article. The earth spins on a tilted axis as the planet orbits the sun, but twice in the course of that year-long trip around the sun, the earth is not inclined toward or away the sun. Each of those instances is an equinox, which is derived from the Latin words for equal and night. So I think it's Equus and Nox. I don't know how to. It's Aequus. So something that's not in my brain function to be able to read correctly. But after the autumnal equinox, the northern hemisphere of the earth begins to tilt away from the sun. So nights get longer and days will grow shorter until the winter solstice, which will be on December 21st. For ancient societies, the autumnal equinox marked the end of summer, and the vernal or spring equinox marked the end of winter, which helped people track time sensitive activities such as when to plant crops. According to the Farmer's Almanac, the changing colors of the leaves on trees is actually triggered by the shorter days with reduced amounts of daylight. So, really interesting there. And so it's interesting because I remember when we got into fall, or we got, excuse me, not fall, when we got into spring. If I could English today, you guys, not spring or fall. Too much talk about the season. When we got into September, it was an S word. I was going there. When we got into September, and I was asking you guys, like, do you feel like, because so many people, like, September 1st hits and the pumpkins come out, and the cranberries and the leaf colored everything, and the Halloween decorations go up and all of that stuff starting like September 1st. I know a lot of people like that. Pumpkin spice, the whole deal. And then I asked everybody, I'm like, do you feel like does September 1st start it for you, or do you wait until the equinox? It was kind of split in half. Like, a lot of people feel like September 1st is like it for them, and then a lot of people, especially like I said, those in like the witchy community, more I guess spiritual communities, kind of plan rituals and things like that around the actual equinox, which is today. And so I love how that is actually the case, because even where ritual and things like that are concerned, it is so important for us to do things in a way that feels natural within our own energetic being and our own body. A prime example of this is dealing with the moon phases. So, some of you guys weren't around during my new moon mama days, and everybody would call me the new moon mama. Why? Because the full moon sucks for me. because because your girl is done on the full moon. Okay. I like the new moon. And I love everything that it represents as well. I was born on a new moon. It's a whole thing. But anyway, um so when I started teaching, well, let me back up. When I started learning about why I have always felt such a cyclical connection to the moon, there were so many spiritual teachers that I had that would do releasing rituals on like on the night of the full moon, or releasing, you don't have to call them rituals if that word makes you uncomfortable, exercises, whatever. Because it's really good, like it's really good for your mental health to release things, right? So they would do these releasing rituals or activities, and I would never feel aligned with that. Like I felt I was always, it was a very different energy for me on the full moon. And so, but it's hard, like when you're just like starting, like you're on your spiritual journey and trying to figure out like who you are and what you believe in and what you stand for and all of that. It was a challenge for me to kind of question that and be like, but I don't feel like I'm supposed to be releasing right now. And the truth of the matter is that the full moon is a celebration time. Releasing, if you're going by the actual cycle of the moon, should happen in the last quarter moon, and then even going into the balsamic moon, which is what we're in right now. Balsamic moon is when the moon really starts to darken, right before the, where you don't see much of the moon. It doesn't darken, but you get what I'm saying. When you don't see much of the moon, right before the new moon, which is when we don't see it at all, the new moon in the sky. So the balsamic is really that going within and doing a lot of releasing, and so for me it was like this, that everything has a season phrase. It felt very awkward for me to be releasing on a day that I felt celebratory, because so that for any of you that are new to the moon cycle, you have the new moon, which is when the moon is dark. That is your planning phase. That is your time to say, what do I really want? It's planning and manifesting. It's that bubbling under the surface kind of energy. And then you have the first quarter moon, which is when you start to take action, because we know that God, pray without ceasing, but God gives us hands and feet for a reason, right? So that's when you start to really take action on these desires. So you've thought about, envisioned, manifesting what you wanted on the new moon, and now that first quarter moon is when you really start to take action and start to do all those little things. And then that action starts to, you're building. That's your building phase. So when you get to the new moon or to the full moon after that first quarter moon, now you've got something to celebrate. You're like, you've taken all this action, you're taking these steps forward, you're working on the things that you want to work on, and then it's time to celebrate. And I think that skipping over, I just felt when I started moving on now to when I started teaching about the moon phases, I always preface everything by saying, look, you have to do what you feel aligned with. If you want to if you need to release something on the full moon, do it. However, the full moon is supposed to be about celebration. So I don't want anyone to ever skip celebrating all of the little steps that you've taken up until that point. So, and we know from a mental perspective, when we celebrate, when we get that celebration on, that can be such a huge fuel for having us continue to move forward during that last quarter moon, which is what comes after the full moon, because that's still the last quarter moon. While things are slowing down a little bit, it's still in that worker bee kind of phase. Okay, we're still taking action towards those things that you put in the universe on the new moon. Okay, so that's the last quarter moon. Things are slowing down. You're starting to get a little bit reflective, maybe tweaking things, making changes to things that you put into motion. And then, like I said, going into the balsamic moon, which is where we're at, well, I think we'll kind of be in there between tonight and tomorrow. It's that rest and reflection, and balsamic moon's like, take a day off, relax a little bit, because that rest, as we know from a cyclical perspective, is so important in our manifesting and creating and building and all of that we're doing in our lives. If we don't rest, we don't have that refreshed and renewed energy when the cycle begins again with the new moon for planning and then your action taking moving forward. So it's very much that energy of everything has a season, everything has a time, and that we witness that everything has a season in nature. We read that everything has a season in several religious texts. Um, and yet we are, as humans, so often just pushing back against it, that do, go, 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 and constantly feeling in the need to create. And I have to shout out to my friend Daria, who's going to be on the Breakthrough Show in a couple of weeks from Germany. She and I had a little bit of this conversation a couple of days ago, where it's hard to watch that, not only with our loved ones, but within ourselves, that constant pushback against nature. And then we sit back and go, well, why aren't things going our way? Well, you've spent the entire season fighting back against what is coming natural. And I don't want to discount, you know, fight the good fight sometimes. Okay, I don't want to discount that, but I think we would in general experience much more peace in our lives and much more joy if we allow things to flow and cycle naturally, and really listen to that connection, feel that connection, and listen to our bodies and our spirit as we move through these different phases of the season, the moon cycle, whatever it is that we're discussing at the time. Judith says, I feel the same with the full moon. It is a wonderful night for a moon dance. Yes, I love that song, by the way, too. So what I would love to hear from you guys as we engage in this conversation today about fall beginning today. What does fall and the autumn time signify for you? What does fall and the autumn time signify for you? Fall was always a favorite time of mine here in Connecticut, and I'm getting to experience that again now. So many people are coming out and, doing apple picking and going to all the cider mills are open, and pumpkin picking, and Halloween was always so much fun this time of year. Here where I grew up, and I'm getting to experience that again now. And it's still warm enough most times to go down to the beach. We did that the other day, and it was so lovely, just to enjoy the shoreline. And so it's really a time I feel very much like tradition. We get into when we were little, school starts this time of year, and we would have the things that we would do every year, from school shopping to school pictures. And then you get into Thanksgiving time, and football season starts, and homecoming dances, and there's just so much. Like, it's interesting because spring is typically known as like this new beginnings time, yet fall it has always felt very much like new beginning to me. And the interesting thing about that is that today is also known as Mabon, which is it is a pagan festival. It is in the wheel of the year, and it's just interesting. It's kind of like it's an ending but also a new beginning. And so I feel very connected to that, that this always feels like new beginning to me. And then you go into the winter, and it's like, it's while it's hibernation time, because like everything is dead, so to speak, everything is cold, etc. um it's it's a it's a time of like I said, that bubbling under, that festering, that, something is under the surface, and, thinking of things creatively, and sort of like kind of like the dark of the moon, that new moon time. Winter always feels to me like that time to manifest. And then it kind of makes sense to me, because then we go to like the Gregorian calendar, the first of the year, which is New Year's, and new signifies new beginnings. And then things start, that all of that festering and manifesting and everything that we did in the winter, it starts to sprout up in the spring, and we can kind of see that come to life a little bit. Judith said cider, donuts, crunchy leaves, the beauty of nature. Yes, crunchy leaves. Oh my God, I cannot wait to watch the leaves change color. Some of them are happening already, and I am so freaking excited. Like, I haven't been home for this in so long. So long. I am so pumped. Juju says fall is my favorite time, not just because it's my birthday around these months, but the warmth and togetherness that starts happening because the holidays are around the corner. Yeah, I think that's a lot of it for people too, is the holiday time is coming. And so it can be a challenging time for a lot of people. I'll say that there are a lot of people who don't like this time because of the holidays. It's a lot for people. I celebrate in very different ways now than what I used to, where holidays are concerned. And so, if again, going back to making it about joy, finding that joy within everything, it's about, whether we're talking about the holidays or the seasons or whatever, the moon phases, whatever, it's about doing what you feel really good with doing in the moment. Brittany says, fall is my favorite. Yes, fall is my favorite time. And so what does it signify? So if we talk about, and how can it really help us with joy? When we talk about, doing things by nature, or with the flow of nature, we look outside at what nature is doing. So what do you see when you look outside right now? Well, leaves are falling to the ground. So it's a pruning time. It's a time to look at your boundaries and release the things that are not serving you in your life, so you have that fresh and renewed energy to get creative as you rest and hibernate in the winter. Okay, so releasing the things that are not serving you right now is a huge theme. And as we're in the fall time, also you see a lot of animals preparing for winter. So looking at the like gathering the things that you need, for when you're, so that you're able to rest and kind of cultivate creativity in the winter. So if you don't line things up now, then, like, okay, we know it's going to snow here in New England eventually. Sorry to disappoint some of you. We know it's going to snow eventually. So if you don't buy a shovel now, you're probably going to be screwed when it comes to snow. Okay. So kind of lining things up. You see the squirrels going and putting nuts to different places, and all of that, all of the animals, you watch them kind of preparing for the winter to come in this time. So again, it can be easy to look at and see, okay, the leaves are falling, so I'm just supposed to release. No, this is also a work time. This is a preparation time. This is also a time to look back and celebrate. To look back at what you've accomplished and celebrate it now. So if we look at nature, it's a harvesting time. So if you've been growing things in the spring and summer, this is a big harvest time for a lot of different plants. It's the time to pick and then can and freeze and all of that stuff that you're doing to prepare for winter. So it's about celebrating and that harvest. Also, gratitude. That's a huge word for this time of year. It seems kind of stereotypical because Thanksgiving is coming here in the States, and then actually in Canada first, coming up in a couple weeks. Holy cow. But so it seems stereotypical to say, okay, gratitude this time of year, but it goes with nature this time of year because you have this all of these things you've harvested. You're celebrating the bounty that you planted over the summer and celebrating that now. So celebrating, releasing, preparation. This is a busy time of year, and maybe that's why one of the reasons why I love it so much, because I tend to thrive when I have 800 forks in the fire. That's how I do over here. So yeah, like look to nature and see what's going on. Also, the leaves are changing color. This is kind of the last part that I want to talk about with this. What can you take from that? I would say that if you have things that you want to shift in your life, if there is something about you that you want to enhance, remember this week though, we're talking about you are not broken, you are a whole. There is nothing wrong with you. You are just enhancing your life as you choose to change things. But if there's something about you that you want to enhance or shift or morph into something amazing, you have full permission to do that at any time. But what a beautiful opportunity of reinvention this time of year is. These trees go from being beautiful and lush and green all summer here in New England to this bright orange and yellow and red and gorgeous colors. So you can bring that out at any time. Like you can just let yourself shine. um and so it can be a beautiful time for reinvention as well, or to even to start thinking about that and going and being authentic and just allowing yourself to be who you are. And then if you need to make like little changes to that, you want to mull it over in the winter, and then let yourself bloom in the spring. Like, that's what it is. So I love to look to nature to see, what are the things that we can do to be flowing with nature right now. And fall is a beautiful time for so many things. And I will say this too, you can even look at it from your digestion and food and stuff as well that you're taking into your body. If you, because this is a huge part of my Thriving Through Change book that I'm re-releasing very soon. It used to be called Coping Through Change. It is coming out as a new book, paperback, Thriving Through Change. One of those things is like to help us stay grounded in the moment. It is important for us to tap into what brings us joy, be intentional about tapping into what brings us joy. So if the cold bothers you, if you don't like this time of the year because you're cold, you don't care how many hoodies you put on, you don't want to shovel snow, if you even hear anything about the white stuff, you get upset. It is so important for you to grasp onto the warmth. So fires, fuzzy blankets, warm clothes, drinking hot chocolate and hot teas and things like that. And really grabbing on, because you don't have to allow a season that you quote unquote don't like to be a thief of your joy. You can choose to be joyful even in the cold. Just invite those things into your life that helps you to thrive through this change. You don't have any control over the weather. I know some of y'all think you do. Some of y'all think you're the earth or the sun, but you're not, and you can't control the things that are around you. So what you can control is your own processing of what's happening around you. So if you're bothered by the cold, if fall is not your favorite season and winter is definitely not your favorite season, get those warm beverages out. Watch things that make you feel warm and fuzzy. Do the things that you need to do to invite the warmth into your life where you have control over that. And then you can bring joy into the fall season if you don't find the joy in it like many of us here do today. Brittany said, yes, that's what I'm doing, reinvention, and it's bringing me so much joy. It is definitely the time of year for that. We had the big harvest moon. And just FYI, for those of you that are keeping up with the moon cycles, as we've been talking about it today. So we have the equinox today, and Sunday is the new moon. So it truly is that time of going within and saying, what is it that I want of me right now, and what does that look like going forward, and what do I need to reinvent, what do I need to celebrate, what do I need to harvest here, and it just gives me goosebumps. It's such a good time of year, such a good time of year. So we're going to take a quick break, you guys, and be right back after this. We are going to be doing our birthdays and talk about what's to come on the Breakthrough Show Network for the rest of the week. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Imagine a world where every child gets a great education. Educating all children is the only way to end poverty. This is what the Weiss Scholarship Foundation is working to accomplish. Our 6 staff members, our mentors and coordinators, who are on the ground in Kenya, are totally engaged in every aspect of our students' lives, so we can give them every opportunity for success. In just a few short years, we have already awarded 141 scholarships. We send children to high school who would have never gone without our support. And then we help them go on to either university or vocational school. We have already scaled our holistic business model to 4 locations and are ready to scale it to many more. Today it's Kenya, but tomorrow it's more countries. Please contribute what you can today. You can make a one-time donation, a recurring donation, or choose to sponsor a child all on your own for all 4 years of high school for just $3,500. Go to our website, www.weissscholarshipfoundation.org.
Thanks for watching the Breakthrough Show Network. Today, we'd like to support our friend over at Nail Beauty by Brittany. Purchase your custom, press-on, Reiki-infused nails by visiting nailbeautybybrittany.com. Don't forget your discount by using the code BREAKTHROUGH. And now, back to the show.
Girl, that one glitter nail was everything. Can we just talk about that for a minute? When Brittany did my nails for the musical evening of giving last year, dude, like that glitter nail was like it just warmed my heart. So anyway, guys, make sure you visit nailbeautybybrittany.com. And like she said, she's going through a little bit of a transformation right now. So you might see things change, but she's still got those Reiki infused press on nails for you. Use the code BREAKTHROUGH, get yourself a discount. And of course, we will keep you up to date here with all of her happenings and amazing things that she is doing in the world. Also want to remind you to visit our friends at weissscholarshipfoundation.org. We would love for you to match our monthly donation. So I donate personally and I match every month with funds from the Breakthrough Show Network. So when you donate to the Breakthrough Show Network, some of that money goes every single month to the Weiss Scholarship Foundation. I donate $21. The Breakthrough Show donates $21, and I would love for you to match that as well and let them know that you came from here on the Breakthrough Show Network, helping to eliminate poverty around the globe. Brett told me that they had an amazing virtual event this last week, and so really thankful for that, that they did have an amazing time, and I hope they were able to raise lots of money for the organization. Let's talk about our birthdays today. I got to get my birthday list up here. Any Harry Potter fans in the house? Anybody raise your hand? Tom Felton's birthday today, aka Draco Malfoy. He has a birthday today, so happy birthday to him. Rocker Joan Jett has a birthday today. Love me some Joan Jett. Another one of my favorite singers, opera singer Andrea Bocelli, has a birthday today. Some of you 70s, 80s, 90s peeps might know that it is Scott Baio's birthday today. He was Charles in Charge. He was Charles in Charles in Charge. That Charles in Charge is a mouthful. It's also in Happy Days, amongst other things. Also, actress Bonnie Hunt has a birthday today. You might remember her from played the love interest of Robin Williams in Jumanji, and she's been in many, many other things over the years. So happy birthday, Bonnie Hunt. The celebrities in my world have birthdays today as well. Kelly Grimes has a birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Kathy Mason has a birthday today. Brenda Mailer, and also the fabulous Jessica Lorimer has a birthday today. Happy birthday, Jessica. It's always a great day when it's a Jessica's birthday. I'm just trying to say. So happy birthday to everybody that's celebrating. Let us get our birthday song on with my pretend drum roll over here. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tom Felton, Joan Jett, Andrea Bocelli, Scott Baio, Bonnie Hunt, Kelly Grimes, Kathy Mason, Brenda Mailer, and Jessica Lorimer. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to everybody that is celebrating today, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your fall today. I truly do. Like I said, I've been saying all week, there's so many people who, right with nature, are going through a major transition right now, a crossroads, lots of stuff being brought up and healing needing to happen. And I just want you to know that I'm sending all of you peace every single day, and really internalizing that for myself, as well as I am also going through this process of change and transition. And it's a fun time. It's a fun time, but I am here for you. If you ever need anything, you can always send me a message on social media or jessica@thebreakthroughshow.com. And I'm happy to support you in whatever way that I can, whether it's making an introduction, Reiki, card reading, whatever you need. I'm here for you. Coming up later today at 12 p.m. Eastern time, we have an all new episode of Learning in Silence with Juju and Mandy. They're talking about relationships today, so make sure you check that out. Again, that's 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific. Anything else outside of those timeanddate.com is your friend. So make sure you check out Learning in Silence. Again, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Also, I'll be back tomorrow for Fun Friday on the Breakthrough Show, or Breakthrough Show Network on Project Joy Live. But tomorrow also we have an all new episode of the Breakthrough Show for our Breakthroughs Around the World series. Tamia Montessori was a past guest of the Breakthrough Show, and she's back, and we're talking about her amazing country of Hungary. And it is a beautiful conversation. We talk about so many different things, from slowing things down to working within a group, your energy. Like, it's just going to be amazing. So make sure you tune in for that. Plus, you get to learn things. I learned new things about Hungary. I told you this whole series is like an educational series for me, because I stunk at geography in school. So I'm learning all of the things now about, apparently, Hungary has Europe's largest lake. I bet you didn't know that, but you're going to learn that on Friday's show as well. Thank you guys for being here today. I'm so thankful for you. Like I said, I'm continuing to send you so much peace right now in this time of transition and change for so many of you. And remember, that's how we connect to that joy, is staying in that place of peace, knowing that you are whole and knowing that you are joy. Thank you so much for being here with me again today. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I want to remind you to make joy a priority in your life today and every day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
You've been tuned in to Project Joy Live with Jessica Dugas, your weekday morning talk show, inviting you to start your day with a triple shot of good vibes, only on the Breakthrough Show Network. Binge all past episodes of Project Joy at projectjoypodcast.com. Until next time, help us spread the joy by sharing this episode, and we'll see you soon.